Hey, what's up there, YouTubers? It's me again, Brian, aka Gamer 55551, and I am back with a video review. And for this one, I want to take a look at Persona 3 Reload, a remaster and remake of the original Persona 3 for the Xbox Series X and S, being played on the Series S. And I do believe the game currently is still available on Game Pass. The game is also available on the PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and PC via Steam. And if you're interested in any gameplay footage, I'll have a link down in the description down below, or you can click on the card that will appear up on this video. And for parents out there, it's worth pointing out that Persona 3 Reload is rated M for mature audiences only, ages 17 and up by the ESRB rating system though. Altus RPG games are in a way kind of unique and can be fun depending on your preference and taste though. And they have worked on several different games in the past, whether it's, the Shin Megami Tensei series to basically, I believe there's one like basically the soul hacking series. I think they're working on another one as well. And of course, they've also been known to publish games too. Some of them, most recently, some of them are like from Vanillaware, including the recent Unicorn Overlord, which has done very well for both of them, to be exact. And of course, they are also known to have done the Persona series. And the series has mostly been, RPGs, but we've seen some different takes on it here and there, like I think Persona 5 Striker to Persona Dance All Night and everything like that. But I will say their RPGs can be fun, but it does depend on one's preference and taste. So it was kind of interesting to hear them basically going to do a remaster or remake of Persona 3 and everything like that, since the game has made their way to, I think originally started out, I think it was on the handheld device, and then made their way to the other consoles and everything like that. And after spending some time with it, first trying it out on Game Pass before deciding to buying the game and all, I will say I did come away with enjoying Persona 3 Reload more than I had originally thought though. But again, a lot of it will come down to your view of Altus's RPGs in general though. So why don't we get started breaking it down into the pros and the cons, and we'll start off first with the pros. And the pros for the game is that in terms of gameplay or RPG mechanics though, the game is still easy to use and understand, at least from my view though. For the most part, it does follow similar approach to what we've seen in past Altus's RPGs or past Persona series and all. Most of the times when you're taking on enemies, though, you have your character has your own persona, although your main character can capture multiple personas and use them as well. Basically, when you see an enemy, though, you basically have looked at different, what are they weak against, though? Sometimes they can be resistance against some things, other times they are not. So for example, if you're using fire against like one of the enemies and all, sometimes they may be resistance to it, sometimes they may have no impact on it, or sometimes they could be extremely weak, which then next time you run into that type of enemy, you'll know exactly how to take them out. This is kind of similar if you played other games like Octopath Traveler 1 and 2 is one example of it though. And of course, you also have different skills as well throughout the game. Each character has their own unique skill and your own unique persona. You can also, if you use the right skill or the right spell against a certain enemy, you have another chance to either use that spell or pass it over to another enemy, or go all out if you take out all the enemies at once or knock them out for a bit using spells or anything like that. You can still use melee attacks, but most of the game does heavily focus on using, different spells and so forth though. So the gameplay, although I would say easy to use, I didn't think it was that complex or anything like that. So that certainly is a good thing, indeed. And finally, in terms of the game running on the Xbox Series S, I would say it runs pretty well on the Series S, though. I haven't really seen any issues with it, and pretty much it has run at 60 frames per second, and that certainly isn't a bad thing. Now, granted, this is a turn-based RPG and all, and for me, turn-based RPGs, I would say I wouldn't be bothered if it ran at 30. Don't get me wrong, 60 frames per second is better, but I have no issue if it ran at 30. But nevertheless, I do give credit to Aulx for making the game run well on the Series S. Obviously, it may not look as good as what it is on the PS5 or the Xbox Series X, or the PC version for that matter, which I believe, depending on your setup, you could have the game running at 120 frames per second and all. But in either case, I think they get the job done. I'm not bothered with it running at 1080p, 60 frames per second. I think that's good. So if you have a Series S, don't worry. The game won't come off as like you're getting the short end of the stick or anything like that. So very good that they made the game run pretty well on the Xbox Series S and all. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we'll get to part 2, which is the con. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 2 of my video review of Persona 3 Reload for the Xbox Series X and S, being played on Series S. So now that I gave you the pros, why don't we get started with the cons? And there are really only 2 cons I could think of based on my time with Persona 3 Reload. The first one I do want to talk about is the visuals. Now, I will say, visually speaking, I don't think the game looks terrible or anything like that. I mean, it looks fine and all, even for a game that I think it was originally released back in 2006, or released on the, I think it was the PSP or the PS Vita. I mean, so it looks basically fine, and they made some changes here or there to modernize it a little bit though. But when compared to like other Aulx's games, I will say there are other games that they have done that I think in my view, look a little bit better than Persona 3 Reloaded. One of those could be Shin Megami Tensei 5. Others is basically other Aulx's games that Aulx has published, like the Vanillaware type of games. I love the art style with those type of games and everything like that. So it doesn't look bad, even running on the Series S at I believe 1080p. But still, I would say it's nothing really special. And like I said, I do think there are better looking games from Aulx that I've seen before in the past. And last but not least, in terms of, the gameplay mechanics or the type of Aulx's RPGs that they are known for, this is going to come down to your preference and taste though. I mean, to me, I don't have a problem with Aulx's RPG. I do think it's an interesting and different approach than compared to, say, like what we've seen what Square Enix has done though. But if you weren't really a fan of, say, past Aulx's RPGs, then I don't think this game is going to change your mind or change your opinion or anything like that though. To me, I don't think this is a high negative at all. I do, as I said before, I do enjoy Aulx's RPGs and all, but I can understand this one maybe not appealing to everybody out there. So ultimately, it does come down to whether you're a fan of Aulx's RPG or the way they approach RPGs or not. So it really comes down to that. And if you really weren't a fan, I'm not sure this one's going to change your mind at all. Overall, I am enjoying Persona 3 Reload. I do think it is a good game, especially if you're a longtime Persona fan. I never got a chance to play the original Persona 3, so trying it out on Xbox, especially through Game Pass and all, I definitely am enjoying it more than I had originally thought, and it is one I would definitely recommend, especially if you're a fan of RPGs or if you like Aulx's RPGs in general. At its best, though, I think the gameplay mechanics are easy to use and understand. I think that's not a bad thing, especially with past, Aulx's RPGs in the past. And I will say, for a game on the Xbox Series S, it runs very well on that system, though. I mean, yes, it may not have a higher resolution as the PS5 or the Xbox Series X, and it may not have, the ability to run at 120 frames per second like you would on the PC, depending on your PC setup, though. But it still runs very well, and I'm happy with it running at 1080p, 60 frames per second and all. At its worst, however, I will say the visuals, like I said, not terrible, they're fine, just nothing special compared to other Aulx's RPGs in the past. And again, the gameplay mechanics may or may not appeal to a lot of people. A lot of it comes down to what your view on Aulx's RPGs. Some are going to like it, some are going to hate it. But in either case, I am enjoying the game though. I do think it is fun, and I do hope it does well enough, I believe it did, that this opens the door to, maybe we've heard rumors about Persona 4 getting a remaster or remake, to even possibly a Persona 1 and 2, which I would absolutely be down with that if they did that and everything like that. So hopefully that opens the door to that, and hopefully we'll see this one. I'm hoping maybe, if not on the Nintendo Switch, the Switch successor, whenever Nintendo starts talking about that. And if you're not 100% sure about Persona 3 Reload, I believe it's currently available on Game Pass at this time. So if you're not 100% sure, try it out on Game Pass and see if it's something that clicks with you or not. But in either case, I do enjoy the Persona series. I do enjoy some of the Aulx RPGs, and it's definitely a recommendation for me, though. But again, it does come down to how you view Aulx's RPGs, and I believe, and like I said, I believe it's on Game Pass, and so try it out on Game Pass to see if it's something that really clicks with you or not. Okay, this concludes my video review of Persona 3 Reload for the Xbox Series X and S. And again, these are my opinion. What are yours? What are your thoughts about Persona 3 Reload, though? Are you glad Aulx remade/remaster this game at all? Do you think the game is still fun and enjoyable? Are you a fan of Aulx's RPGs? Are you hoping that maybe they'll remaster or remake Persona 4 if the rumors are true about that? Or even the first or second Persona series and all? Are you glad this game is on Game Pass and all? Do you agree with what I said in this video? Do you disagree? Do you have a difference of opinion? As always, sound off in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. And if you do like this video, I hope you hit the like button. I would appreciate it. And I hope you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you do, make sure you hit the bell icon for notifications of any new videos I put up. Also, feel free to share this video if you want to, and feel free to donate to my channel if you'd like. You could do it through PayPal Me, Patreon, or Steam Labs. Links will be in the description of this video, assuming you're watching this on YouTube. And I will see you again next time when I do another video. Hopefully that'll be soon. Until then, from Southern California, I wish you all a good day then. Bye!